It's Ron Reader Digs the Universe. I'm Ron Reader, and this is Ron Reader Digs the Universe. And tonight, the madness of King Mob. The fallout from the Hillbilly Brown Shirt insurrection on January 6th continues apace. Nothing so spectacular yet, no repeat performances, but the inauguration is tomorrow, and the Nazis' numbers in DC and state capitals swell. The investigation of the riot continues apace, and early indications are that it was indeed an inside job. And that it involved a lot of people and planning, billionaires, Capitol Police, congressmen, and more. It is now clear that this is a long-term problem. The genie is out of the bottle on right-wing political violence. They are, perceptually speaking, politically powerless and desperate. So, what are we going to do? Back in 2004, I was in a show, Wallace Shawn's Hotel play, with the late lamented Houston theater company Infernal Bridegroom, and at some point in rehearsals and performances, I got into a conversation with a fellow actor, former Marine, conservative, about Fallujah, which was at that point in the never-ending Iraq War a center of Sunni Ba'athist resistance. He was of the opinion that we should bomb Fallujah back to the Stone Age, and when I asked him how exactly killing civilians is going to weaken the insurgency, his response was essentially that Iraqis only understand force. The U.S. did, in fact, eventually bomb Fallujah back into the Stone Age, and only a couple of years later we saw the rise of the Islamic State in Iraq. You know, ISIS, etc. Force actually made it worse. Personally, I think it's actually American conservatives who are the ones who only understand force. My own personal background as a former conservative, and seeing for years how conservatives always project this language of force onto any and all enemies: Iraqis, Soviets, Red Chinese, Somalis, Viet Cong, Sandinistas, you name it, strongly suggest this is the case. It's the conservatives. They're the ones who only understand force. That is, they're total authoritarians, and that means that not only are they really good at ordering people around, they're also really good at being ordered around. They do both of these really well, and this little fact might be the key to unlocking our little enormous neo-Confederate, neo-Nazi problem. I was very pleased to see a Republican insider, former congressional staffer Mike Lofgren, essentially agreeing with me on this point in a recent Salon.com interview. Lofgren says that any leniency shown toward the insurrectionists and their supporters will be perceived by them as weakness, which will only encourage them to go further. And I really like that, like I've been doing here for months at Ron Reader Digs the Universe, Lofgren historically situates this moment in the context of how we dealt with the Confederacy, a failure, and how we dealt with Nazi Germany, a success. Lofgren's conclusion is that we must come down on the entire Trump movement hard, fast, and continually. Heavy punishment for perpetrators and social ostracization of conservatives, expulsion from Congress, jail, endless investigations, and hardcore talk with friends and family. Always. Always, always, until the conservatives have morphed into something fit for democracy. Lofgren is just so right about this. We are dealing here with a massive, cancerous, delusional, evil, batshit, crazy, malevolent, death-obsessed social movement. These people are utterly detached from reality and dripping with self-righteousness. And this isn't their political choice. This isn't politics. These people are making serious attempts to overthrow the United States government. Do not dismiss it. Do not take it lightly. We are in big fucking trouble. And we, you, me, all decent Americans must now involve ourselves personally. We gotta talk to these people. Don't debate them, just call them on their bullshit. Tell them their ideas are sick and dangerous and you don't want this shit being spoken in this country, and leave it at that, but be prepared to do it over and over for years. Our nation is deeply ill, and all of us must now fight for the cure from top to bottom and across the board. The conservatives must be overwhelmed. There is no other way. Let's do it. I'm Ron Reeder, and this has been Ron Reeder Digs the Universe. Join me, Ron Reeder, again next week for another episode of Ron Reeder Digs the Universe. It's the conservatives. They're the ones who only understand force.